Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, The Niche of Light is a book written by Imam Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, and we have been talking about this book in like three previous videos. And this section, section 3, part B, is talking about the meaning of light according to the elite of the elite. To have a better understanding, I will recommend you to watch the previous videos so it will be all clear to you, inshallah. And I have titled my videos The Niche of Lights for Dummies because I'm trying to break down the understanding of the book in a way that will make it clear for everybody. I am Haja Fatima Dodo El Meki. I have studied theology in Iran, in Jamiatul Zahra University, Jamiatul Zahra in Qom. And I'm not going to talk about myself because we need to know what the elite of the elite have to say about the meaning of light in section 3, part B. The main reason of this book is this verse of the Quran from Surah 24, verses 35. And this is what the surah says. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. His light is like a niche in which there is a lamp. The lamp is in a crystal. The crystal is like a shining star lit from the oil of a blessed olive tree, located neither to the east nor the west, whose oil would almost glow even without being touched by fire. Light upon light. Allah guides whoever He wills to His light. And Allah sets forth parable for humanity, for Allah has perfect knowledge of all things. Surah 24, verse 35. So before moving forward with the meaning of the word light according to the elite of the elite, let us just back down a little bit and see what the other groups had to say about the word light, the meaning of the word light. So we have the common people who say that the light is simply a manifestation, the element that makes things manifest. For example, the sun. The sun, when it appears, it makes everything around us seen. And then we have the elite who say that we need an eye to see the sun. So the eye deserves the meaning of light instead of the sun. And then now we have the elite of the elite who have told us the imperfection of the eye, outward eye, and also they told us that in our heart we have an eye, and that eye is actually called rational faculty. And we have explained the difference between the outward eye and the inward eye. And after telling us that the inward eye has deserved the meaning of light, the elite of the elite have explained to us also that rational faculty needs sometimes to be awakened, needs to be shaken. And the element that shakes the rational faculty, like bring it to life, bring it to light, brings light to the eye, inward eye, is simply the book of Revelation, the book of God. And in this case, we're talking about the Quran. So the book of God is what shake, shakes the rational faculty and brings light to it. And then now we're going to see What else the elite of the elite have to say? So we have known that we have two kinds of eyes. We have the outward eye and then we have the inward eye. The outward eye is that what we see, you see here, and the inward eye is the one that we have called rational faculty. The same way the inward eye has a sun, S-U-N, the same way the inward eye also has a sun, and the sun for the inward eye is just the revealed books of God and the Quran. You know, it makes me think if they say that it is the Quran and the revealed books of God, does it mean that the inward eye has a lot of sun? Do we have just one sun or there's a lot of sun that we didn't discover yet? I think we should, I don't know if you have anything to add to that. That was just something that crossed my mind right now because remember the previous video we said when we were talking about two words, they said whatever is in here is just a metaphor from what is on the other word. So, um, not metaphor, but it's just similar. They are similar. That word, the visible and the spiritual, are kind of similar. So that's why I was trying to understand. I had this question that just popped up that if they have the revealed books, a lot of books, or it's just the fact that when you are a Muslim, then your son is the Quran, and when you are Christian, your son is the revealed book of God, the other revealed book of God, the Torah, the for Jewish the Bible. That's interesting to know because okay, I'm going out of the subject. Let me go come back. Let me come back. And so we have two words, and the elite of the elite want us to know that once you have understand that there are two words, there's the spiritual one, the dominion one, and then there is the visible that we have. You're going to understand that the earth is not only the earth that you have imagined. It's going to be something else. The heaven that you have imagined all this time is going to have another meaning. Is going to, and also the elite of the elite want us to know that the visible world is just a mold to the spiritual world, and that the spiritual world, which is a dominion world, is also known as the high world, the spiritual world, the high. And when they say high, it doesn't mean that it's on top somewhere over there, because you know when we imagine the heaven, I mean, when I was a little girl, I was thinking that when they talk about heaven, it's something that's up there in the sky, up somewhere. That's how I used to imagine the heaven. But then, right now, you can understand that there is a mold and there's something inside the mold. The spiritual world is inside a mold. That's that's very interesting. And also, the elite of the elite want us to know that once you have opened that door of spirituality, that's where you become different from an animal because you have now reached a spiritual level that the animal doesn't have. So that's about these two words. We know that there are two words, right? And then the human being, as said in the Quran, that the human being has been reduced to the lowest of the lowest. From there, he climbs to the highest world. So the way Allah created us is He has reduced us to the lowest, and we have to try to grow and climb to the highest world. And as we know, the highest world is the dominion world, and in the dominion world is where we find the angels. And the Holy Prophet has said that God, peace be upon him, God has angels who are better informed of people's deeds than people themselves. It's because they are in a higher level, they are informed of what is happening in the lower part, right? And the elite say that when the ascent prophet reaches its farthest point, when they look down from there upon the low, and when they gaze from top to bottom, they become informed of the hearts of the servants and gaze upon a certain amount of the signs of the unseen. Meaning that since the angels are informed of what some people do, once the prophet has reached that level, I think um, when the prophet becomes a prophet, he reached that level where that high level where he can see inside people's heart and be informed just like the angels to what informed from what is happening, what is inside people's heart, because they got that light, they got they climbed another level where ordinary human beings are still in it. They climbed out of it. So that's how makes the prophet different. And also, this is the part that this is just a parenthese, you say. In French, we say parenthèse. So this is just let's just put it in a small bubble, in a small corner of our head. That if the prophet climbs to that spiritual world and has another understanding of things and can see inside the heart of people as and is informed of what people do and is informed of what is good and bad because he sees it in a different kind of eye. Do you think that the prophet can be someone who commit sins? Because there are a group of people who say that a prophet should be someone who doesn't commit sin. And another group says that a prophet is just a human being. He can make mistakes too. But once you are in another level and you see things clearly, do you think that you're going, if for example, you know that this is a fire, are you going to still touch it? Just to touch it and have fun? Is a prophet just going to commit a sin when he knows that the shape, the consequences of the sin and can see it clearly from where he is, from that higher level? He can see it. Do you think that he's going to commit sin? So this is what just let's just put it in the count because that's another subject. That's another subject about the prophet. Not only one prophet. That's the subject about how prophet see things and to guide people. The condition a prophet should fulfill to be a prophet and guide people. Let's put that at the corner. Let's put that at the corner of our mind because that's not the subject. But just as I told you, I love this book so much because it makes you think about so much things that, it's just like I have read this book so many times, and every time it just make me, it brings new stuff in my mind. I really recommend you if you can to put a hand off on this book and read it too because just like I say, it's for dummies and I don't give all the elements, but you need to put a hand on it and read it more than one time, inshallah. Let's go back to our subject. So, as we were saying, Allah has created human being, brought it to the lowest level, and then from the lowest level, we try to get to the highest. And then in the world of dominion, it's where the angels are, and the angels are informed of what is happening down here in people's heart. That's how it is. And then um, Allah gives that knowledge of the knowledge that the angel have regarding people, he gives it also to the prophets. Remember, the visible world is a similitude of the world of dominion. And the elite of the elite say that they will mention a clarification when we talk about the niche, when we talk about the lamp, and when we talk about the tree. That's why we have some clarifications about the similitude of this world and the dominion world. So they have used this verse of the Quran that says, excuse me, he who gains knowledge of the innermost reality of the discussion will easily have unveiled for himself. Uh, I hope I didn't say that that's a verse of the Quran. That's what the elite of the elite are saying. It's not verse of the Quran. It's what the elite of the elite are saying, that he who gains knowledge of the innermost reality of this discussion will easily have unveiled for himself the reality of the similitude of the Quran. Now, this is the Quran for when someone is in the world of dominion, he is with God. And with him are the keys to the unseen. Surah 6, verse 59. So when a prophet reaches that high level, he's able to see, he gets another knowledge, and he's able to see things from higher level and see what is happening in our world from outside. He has a piercing eye and see things differently. For when someone is in the world of dominion, he is with God. And once you are with God, you get more knowledge, right? So here is a fine point. When we talk about light, all the definition that we have given about light, and we try to find what is more appropriate to be called light, the elite say that that which sees itself and others is more worthy of the name light, right? It sees itself and others is more worthy of the name of light, right? But then if something that also allows other things to see while seeing itself and others, then it is even more worthy of the name light, right? For example, so there's the sun, it's bright, it can make things seen, but if at the same time that light not only make other things seen, not only see other things, but also see itself because it's light, that thing deserve more, is more appropriate to call that thing light. And for that reason, it's not going to be only called light, simply light, but it's going to be called the light giving lamp, because it is a light, it gives light to others, makes other things seen, also at the same time it sees it and it sees itself, so it's called light giving lamp. So the definition of light, now that we went another level a little bit higher, is not only simply light, but it's a light giving lamp. Light giving lamp. Let's see what else they have to say about that. So a light giving lamp is a lamp that pours forth its light open others. It makes everything around seen. Also, at the same time, it pours light, but it is also light. It can see itself as light and pour light around it. And that characteristic of the light-giving lamp is found in the holy prophetic spirit. And all the prophets are lamps, and also some ulamas are lamps because are light-giving lamps because they bring knowledge. The prophetic spirits, they bring knowledge and pour it to the creatures, right? And also we can see that in the Surah 33 verses 46, the the Quran, Allah has mentioned the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as the light-giving lamp. So remember that the Surah 24 verse 35, that the light is shining even if it hasn't been touched by oil. So the prophet's light shines without being touched by fire. But when it is touched by fire, it becomes light open light. Meaning there is a oil that can makes that light become light open light. So do you understand that we're going to another level? Because we had the Quran, we had the inside inward eye, we had the Quran, we have the Prophet. Now we have that oil that makes that light giving lamp become light open light, knowing that the light giving lamp, the Prophet, doesn't need that oil to shine, but if it is touched by that oil, it becomes light open light. So now we have to find out what is that oil that makes it, the prophetic spirit become light open light. So what is that oil that when it touches the light giving lamp makes that light become light open light? Imam Ali and Ibn Abbas, God be pleased with them, uh, both say that God has an angel who has 70,000 faces. In every face are 70,000 tongues, through all of which he glorifies God. Remember that the angels were created to glorify God. So now there's an angel who has 70,000 faces. So one angel has 70,000 faces, and every face has 70,000 tongues. And it is said that this angel who stands before all the other angels, for it is said that the day of resurrection is the day when the spirit and the angels stand in ranks. So here, who is the spirit? Spirit and the angels stand in ranks. Surah 78 verse 38. So when the spirit is viewed in respect to the fact that the earthly lamp, okay, is light from it, the only similitude that we can have is that that spirit is fire. Because we say that if in on earth there's that lamp, we put oil, it bright the light becomes, it shines. So in the spiritual world there is also that light giving lamp that's going to get that oil. And what can be that oil? It's simply that angel who glorifies Allah more than any other angel. He is the fire. And one can only become intimate with this fire on the side of the Mount Sinai. Verse 28, Surah 28, verse 29. You remember Mount Sinai when they talk about the Prophet Musa alayhi salam, where he saw the light and some people understood like, oh, he saw God at the Mount Sinai. He saw the light, fire. And they say in the Quran that that fire, that light can only be seen at the is be seen on the side of Mount Sinai. So I'm not going to go out of the subject. We're going to stay here and just understand that because the Prophet is a light giving lamp, he is already a light, but he becomes light upon light when he is touched by that oil, and that oil is simply that angel who has 70,000 faces, and in every face are 70,000 tongues who glorifies Allah. That's the oil. With the way we have been talking about light, we have understand that there is a hierarchy for the light, right? Because we have started with the inner eye, we went to the Quran and then the Prophet and then now that angel. So there's a hierarchy in the way the light is brought up to the visible world, right? So it's just clear for everybody that the nearest to the first source is more worthy of the name light, right? So we have the eye in our heart, we have the Quran, we have the Prophet, we have the angel. So the one who is close, it means that we're still moving up. It means the one who is closer to the first source is worthy of the name light, right? Because it is highest in level. And here a beautiful example is given to understand better the hierarchy of the light in the visible world. Okay, so here they give an example. I got this picture, but I don't know if it really reflects the way I want it to be, but it just to give you an idea. So in the visible world, let's suppose that there is this moonlight that you see there that enters through a window. Okay, the moonlight enters through a window of a house, and that moonlight fall upon a mirror. Okay, imagine that there's a mirror there on the wall, falls upon a mirror attached to a wall, so that moonlight falls upon a mirror attached to a wall, and then it reflected from the mirror, the moonlight reflected from the mirror to an opposite wall, okay, and turns from that wall to the earth so as to illuminate it. So we have the moonlight that enters the window of a house, fall into a mirror, reflects on the floor, it reflects to another wall, and then from that wall, it reflects on the ground. Okay? So we have that step of moonlight, mirror, wall, wall, and ground. So you know that the light on the earth, the light on the ground, comes from that on that wall, right? Because you know that it's not from there. The light doesn't come from there, but it comes the light on the ground comes from the one on the from the wall, and the one from that wall comes from the one from the mirror, and the light from the mirror comes from the moonlight. And also you know that the moon get its light from the sun, right? Since light shines from the sun onto the moon. I think you got the picture, because so we have different hierarchy of the light coming from the moonlight inside the house, to the mirror, to the wall, to the floor. But the real light doesn't come from the wall, from the mirror, from the moonlight, but comes from the sun. So these four lights are ranked in levels such that some are higher and more perfect than others. I think we agree on that. And each one has a known station and a specific degree which it does not overstep. And with that, we have to know that angels also have a known station and they have levels of light. Because remember, we talk about that angel who is fire, who's the oil that once it touches the light giving lamp makes that light become light upon light. So since they are that angel with 70,000 faces and tongues, so there are a hierarchy of light that we need also to know. So the light of the dominion are likewise only to be found in a hierarchy, and therefore it is unlikely that the level of, we know the name of some angels, right? The level of Israfil is above that of Jibrail, and that among the angels there is one who is most near to Allah. So we have angel Jibrail, Gabriel, and then we have Israfil, and then we have other angels who are, the higher you go, the closest they got to Allah. And then the Quran says that we are, what the Quran says about the angels is that we are those ranged in ranks. We are they that give glory. Surah 37, verses 165 to 166. So we are those ranged in ranks. We are they that give glory. So the angels are in ranks and they give glory. And we know that there is that angel that has 70,000 faces, 70,000 tongues in every face that gives glory. Since he gives more glory than all the other angels, so we understand that that angel is closest to Allah compared to the other angels. So therefore, that one is the one who is um, the oil that makes the light giving lamp becomes light upon light. We have talked about the hierarchy of the light when we gave that example of the moonlight that enter a room. And at the end, we understood that the light actually came from the sun. So, which make us understand that the hierarchy of the light does have an end. It's not to continue to infinity. It has an end. So there is a point where the light reaches the source of every light, so for all the lights. So there's a source of light. And that light is the real light, which gives all the lights down the light. And the Quran says the real light is he whose hand is the creation and the command. Whose hand is the creation and the command. Surah 7, verse 54. And whose hand is the creation and the command? Is Allah who created everything. Which makes us understand that the source of every light is Allah. So we have come from the bottom up, up, up till to reach the real light, which is Allah. Just to say that according to the elite of the elite, the word light, it is appropriate to say that light is actually Allah. The meaning of light is nothing than Allah. Allah is the real light, and everything else is just a metaphor of that light. Because it's like we borrow the light from Allah. If, for example, someone goes and borrow clothes, okay, you see that person with nice clothes, nice car, but he has borrowed those things. Is that person the owner of those things? He's not the owner. He just borrowed it. He has to give it back. If he didn't borrow, for example, he wouldn't have these things. So this is just how we are. We borrow the light from Allah. And without that light, we are nothing because Allah is the light, is the real light that has given light to everything down till it has reached wherever it has reached the bottom. So the real light is Allah. As the example that I just gave is about borrowing things, is when a thing has existence from another, its existence is borrowed and has no support in itself, it is pure non-existence. Because we borrow our light from Allah, we are nothing without that light. We borrow that light from Allah. Is it why we say we return to Allah? When somebody dies in Islam, we say, the Muslim, we say, we belong to Allah and to Allah is the return. Because we have borrowed that light. So that light goes back to Allah once we die? That's just a question that crossed my mind right now, since we're talking about borrowing that light from Allah. We belong to Allah and to Allah is the return. You know, when we say to Allah is the return, I used to imagine that, okay, my soul returned to Allah because I have to go, maybe, you know, like say heaven or hell or wherever you're going to be, inshallah, heaven, wherever you're going to be, return to Allah. But we have to understand that Allah has given us a light that has to return to Him because we bore that. And we are nothing without Allah. Just let me say that the elite of the elite are giving more explanation about the light, which is Allah. So before wrapping up this video, I'm just going to remind us what we have seen since previous videos. And also I would like you to know that this is not the last video about the light of the niche of light, and this is not the last part of the explanation of the word light according to the elite of the elite, because we have to talk about Allah. So I'm just going to summarize a little bit what we have seen so far. So the first part, we have seen the meaning of light according to the common of people, which was the manifestation, like the sun that makes things seen around us. And also we have seen the definition of light according to the elite, which was the eye, which is more important to be able to see the sun. And then we have talked about the definition of light according to the elect of the elite, elect of the elect. that the I, inside our heart, the rational faculty, deserve to have the definition of the word light. But then we went deeper and understood that the rational faculty needs a sun, which is the Quran. And then once we have understood that there's the Quran, but then also that there's the Prophet who is the light giving lamp, and then the light giving lamp gets its oil from an angel, and that angel is closer to the source, and that source is just Allah. So we have come to the conclusion that Allah is the light. Allah is the source. Allah is the one who gave us the light because we borrow it from Him. We will have to return it to Him. So Allah is the light. But then you see the same way we went up, we have to understand how it's going to be to go down. So in the next video, inshallah, we're going to talk about the point 3C about Allah, inshallah. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed these videos, and please like, share, and subscribe, and write me some feedbacks. And also, if there's a book that you would like me to break it down for dummies, please let me know, and inshallah, I will do my best if I'm able to put my hand on that book. So, till next time, inshallah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.